Talented Ones Radio, hashtag TL Radio, hashtag TL Media, hashtag too many hashtags, keep hashtagging out. And we're back, man. It's Jay Shep. Look, I know we've been having a lot of artists. I know we've been having a lot of business owners. Hold on, let me make sure y'all can see my face. Make sure y'all see my face. I know we've been having a lot of artists. We've been having business owners. We've had fashion designers. We've had actors. We've had actresses on the show. But today we're stepping into the athlete range, man. And I think just with this guy right here, it's the perfect guy to do it with, man. I grew up with him. This is like a brother to me, man. Blood can make us any closer. And he has one of the most, I feel like, interesting stories that I've heard about in college football in a minute, in the sense of terms of trials and tribulations and a triumphant story, man. This dude right here got an opportunity. He was a former quarterback at Boise State University, led them to a conference title, led himself into getting the offensive MVP, the conference title, man. And just all around, man, when he got his opportunity, when I say he balled out, man. Ladies and gentlemen, Jaylon Henderson, bro. How you doing today?
How's it going, bro? What you been up to? Chilling.
I've been over here, man. I'm trying to get this media company off the ground, man.
I see it. I see it. That's what you got to do every single day. You got to grind, brother.
Bro, I feel you, man. It's so crazy, bro, because I feel like when people watch this, they're gonna watch this for like a multitude of reasons, but people don't really know that we've been knowing each other since like what, 4 years old?
4 years old, yeah. Since we were about
Look.
Since we was young, yeah. We've been knowing each other forever, bro.
Little bad kids.
Now we all grown up.
Really, man, little bad kids running around. But I definitely needed to get you on the show, man. Not just for the fact that we real close, but at the same time, you know, we talked a while back, and I was telling you, I was like, bro, your college football story just is crazy. But before we even get into the college football story, let's get into the love. Where did you get the passion and the love for football? And also, if I didn't say this guy, he was a former quarterback. You know, this is a quarterback to quarterback conversation here. You know,
you see it. Yep.
But
yeah, good question. You know, I started playing football at age 5, and you know, a lot of people that you know in Texas, you know, you start playing at a young age, and then that's where my love really began for the game. 5 years old, played football all through Little League, played football all through middle school, 3 years, played against Jay Shep, 2 years in middle school, 7th and 8th grade, then went to high school, played 4 years of football, played against Jay Shep again, 4 years, then got to college and played 5 years of football. And so my love for the game has really came at a very, very early age. And, you know, it's something that I feel like I came out the womb loving. You know, you're born in Texas. It's either, you know, basketball, football, track. You do one of the three. And so, you know, mine happened to be, it was basketball and football, but majority of it was football.
Yeah, that's true, man. That's true, man. And at a young age, man, I know you was one of those people that in our district, you had it. We saw like Jaylon gonna take off. Like, you know, obviously, you know, when Little League, everybody's kind of like you was either good or you was, but you can't judge from Little League. But you know, once middle school, high school came, bro, you were one of the players that out there. You was a dog. You had your situations and you did what you needed to do. You came out of them. And I think the thing for me that just knowing you that was consistent over your time really playing football, man, was I want to say like the way that coaches use you. And I think for me and you being both African American, which is kind of interesting, was like being a black quarterback. Did you ever get like, I don't want to say thrown off, but a little frustrated sometimes? I did too. When people would try to put you in the bubble, oh, he's the athletic guy. You know what I'm saying? You were real athletic. So they would just try to get you to run, but you could actually throw. Did you ever get like frustrated over that?
You know, early on I did. I try nowadays, just not let it get to me. I mean, I just can only control what I can control, and I know that the coach is going to play to my strengths, but I haven't really had that problem in a while, actually. I mean, I had it a little bit at BSU. It was just sort of like, if I come into the game, I'm going to run the ball. And um, ever since I like actually started playing, I haven't really ran into that problem. In high school, it was a matter of, I didn't even realize what was happening because, I just was wanting to be an athlete. Rather I threw the ball, ran the ball. I just wanted to win the game. And so that wasn't really a big worry to me or a big concern of mine, but until I got to college and realized, okay, I noticed this trend that was going on where, black QB comes in,
Mm-hmm.
the whole defense is yelling, hey, he running it, he running it, he running it.
Right.
Or then the black QB goes out, white QB comes in, whatever, etc.
Yeah.
It's just a more diversified of the offense. But, I just try not to think about it that much.
No, I feel that. I feel that. And the reason why I do ask that because I had a conversation. It was one thing me and my dad actually talked about, which our families know each other. Me and my dad kind of talked about, and that happens between like quarterbacks that look like you and me. Just in general, it's kind of like, oh, they being athletic is one thing, but also one thing that we always worked on because we both worked out together was that throwing. The throwing was one thing that we always had. So I just had to. Just for clarity, that was my first question, man. I was thinking about that all last night. I was like, bro, I wonder how he feels about that. Because I have my opinion on it. But just getting straight back into you, man, your collegiate football career. So we talked about you upbringing, talked about you went to Kingwood Park High School, rivals of my high school. Then you go to UTSA,
Yeah.
You go to UTSA, and that's where your collegiate career starts off. And how was that experience at UTSA for you?
I would call that experience, it was quite humbling. Got there, and as a redshirt freshman, it was like, you're not going to play. Okay, whatever, try to grow as much as you can. But we have to deal with the coaching change. You also have to deal with those coaches bringing in new guys and putting them above you guys that they haven't been recruited or anything like that. And that's just a part of it. And, at the time, it was one of those things where it did frustrate me. But as I got older, I had to realize that it's all a business, and no hard feelings or anything else like that. But I enjoyed my time there. But after a while, I just knew it was time to venture off to new avenues.
Right, bro, right. And I feel like when I really think about your time at UTSA, I feel like you said it was a humbling experience. I feel like it was interesting because like we were simultaneously going through the same thing. We was both redshirt freshman quarterbacks. We talked all the time. And so you was doing your thing at UTSA, I was doing my thing at Sam. And the one thing I did, I was peeping, it was like I kept thinking the next year you was gonna get your shot.
Yeah.
And that was the conversation. We're like, all right, this year, freshman year, all right, I know I'm not the guy, I'm redshirted. But next year, dude is leaving. And once he leaves, I'm going to either be third, I'm either going to be second string, or either I'm going to be, starting. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so after that, it kept seeming like you wasn't getting that fair shake.
Yeah. It's one of those things where it's just like I told you, it's all a business. I did my best part in trying to control what I could control. But at the end of the day, it was guys that were put above me that were put there before I was even able to be seen by coaches or anything like that. And so it was just really frustrating for me, especially when you're told one thing and then what you're told doesn't happen and something else happens, and you just get put in this whole mind-boggling. And it really builds mental toughness. It builds that character in you that, sometimes in life you're going to have to go through stuff like that. And, how are you going to respond to it? How are you going to overcome that adversity and become the better person and not let it damage you and kill your reputation? And so that's actually helped me along the lines today in the world. So it's unfortunate, but I'm glad that it happened the way that it did.
I think for me, if you want my honest opinion, but I think that was At the time, it's not a great thing, but it probably was the best thing for you in a sense, because what happened is it really built you up. And when I mean it built you up, I saw you transform completely. You go from the UTSA experience. Would you stay there 3 years on the technicality?
2.5 years, yeah.
2.5 years. You stayed at UTSA 2.5 years. You transferred to Trinity Valley. Am I correct?
Yep.
Transferred to Trinity Valley. If y'all don't know what Trinity Valley is, it's a JUCO out here in Texas. So Trinity Valley,
In the middle of nowhere.
middle of nowhere.
Middle of nowhere.
And it's like a rebirth. And now, I don't know if you did this on purpose, man, but when you changed your number, because your number at UTSA was number 6.
Yeah.
You changed your number to number 9 at Trinity Valley, and that kind of stayed your number throughout the course of your collegiate career. Was that on purpose to flip the 6 upside down to a 9?
Well, it was not on purpose, but, it worked out perfectly because Drake had just came out with the song.
Right.
Talking about flipping the 6 upside down now, it's a 9 now. So it worked out perfectly. But really what happened is just when I got to Trinity Valley, there was already a number 6 there. My coach was like, well, we don't have number 6. Would you want to be number 9? And I was like, sure, whatever. 6 upside down, it's a 9 now. And then it carried on to BSU also. So,
and I think, I ain't gonna lie to you, but that might have been a sign from God. And I'll say it like this, bro. So, you number 6, you go to number 9, but your whole situation flipped. At Trinity Valley, I don't know, like I said, I don't know the ins and outs of the Trinity Valley situation. You was kind of you was in your bag that time, so we weren't talking as much. But what I do know is that when, you're one of those guys, when you got an opportunity, you shine. You go to Trinity Valley. I don't know the QB situation at first, but I know they was kind of I don't know if they were switching you in and out or they already kind of had somebody. But when you got your opportunity, you balled out, you shined, you got your time in. How did it feel to when you finally got that opportunity to touch that field and show people what you can do? How did that feel, man?
It felt great. It was a feeling of, when you have something built up. Think about you get a Sprite bottle and you shake it up, and then you open it. What's that bottle gonna do? And pop off. It just has to let out all that energy that's inside. And so that's really the feeling that I had taken on. I was just like, I had so much just built up. I just wanted to let it all loose. And really, in the Trinity Valley situation, similar to UTSA, I get there and I'm getting told, oh, you're going to compete and be our guy. You're going to be our guy and our starter, and yada. And then they get there, they already have a guy that had been there, and they played him. It would put me in like fourth quarter, end of the game. They played him majority of the game, and he got injured, broke his collarbone, and then they had to start me. They didn't want to start me, they had to start me. And then when they finally started me, that's when I was able to play and start 6 games, took us to the championship, won the championship. And then bowl game, they brought him back in to play. And it's just another obstacle that I had to pass of, facing adversity and getting treated in my eyes misfairly. But as I've gotten older, I've been able to realize that, it's all a business, and that I just can't let that stuff get me down or alter how I am. Thing also there in recruiting, I had to do all of my recruiting on my own. A lot of times the coaches from JUCO, they try to help you out with recruiting. Well, yeah, they did help me out, but they only would introduce me to D2, D3, and no knock on D2 and D3, but me personally, I just knew that my caliber, I could play at the highest level. So D1 coaches would come by and they would not introduce me to any of them, but they would introduce the other quarterback to all the D1 coaches and then introduce me to all the D2, D3 coaches. And so I got some D2 offers, but how I got to Boise State was, all on my own. It had nothing to do with the coaches at my junior college or anything. And, what's kind of frustrating is you see these guys, these coaches, and they'll portray like, oh, yeah, he's our guy. Well, yeah, I was their guy, but they didn't really do anything to help me out and where I am. And so that's just another obstacle of adversity I had to overcome. And, I thought it would end, but it didn't end, and that's life. You got to fight through it. So,
and I think on a real positive note, because you jumped the gun a little bit, but I'm glad you did it. So Trinity Valley, you do thing. Unless, well, hold on. So did you play 6 games in a bowl game at Trinity Valley as well, or we talked? That's the straight Boise State thing.
That's at Trinity Valley.
That's wow. That's crazy. That is wait. So okay, bro. That's something I actually didn't know. That it's like this for the people that don't understand this. So the same type of situation happened in your next situation. But let me start off on a positive note. You get recruited by Boise State. Boise State, top 25 program in the country. You got to move to Boise, Idaho. First of all, being from Houston, Texas, I know that has to be a big going from UTSA, which is in San Antonio, Texas, and going to Trinity Valley, which is in I don't know where it is, Texas, and then going all the way to Boise State, which is in Boise, Idaho. First of all, I know that weather change had to be a killer.
Oh yeah, it was. I came here on a one-way flight with a week's notice that I was coming here.
Mm-hmm.
One-way flight, 4 suitcases packed. Never seen snow. Never lived around mountains. Never seen like hot springs or clear water streams, anything like that. And then I get here. It's 30 degrees. There's snow all over the floor. I'm just like, I see mountains and just everything you can imagine that's in the movies. That's what I seen. And I got here and I was like, oh my gosh, what is this? I didn't even know where Boise was, to be honest. And I got to the airport and I seen Idaho. I was like, oh, Idaho, what's out here? But you get out here and it's actually really nice. So
I feel that. I remember we was talking one time a couple years back. He was like, yeah, bro, you got to come out to Boise. I was like, Idaho? But I told you that I'm going to eventually come out there. Corona kind of made things a little tough on the traveling right now, but we definitely still going to make that way out there. Got to. I got to see what you live in. I have
to the Idaho.
I got to.
It's hard, bro. I'm telling you. It's lit. Especially if you feel like
just to be like, I'm out here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But to start this Boise State train on the positive note, you get an opportunity. You go to Boise State, top 25 program in the country, blue turf. You get to play on one of the most iconic fields of all time, I will say. And it seems like the fans are some of the best fans ever too, just from this experience you told me. And you get up there, and at first, me being a guy spectating, just knowing you, bro, I was like, okay, well, he's going to get up there first. He's not going to get the nod at first. I didn't expect you to go up there and be like QB1 off bat.
Mm-hmm.
Just because they got people already. Not saying it had nothing to do with your playing ability. He just, the politics of the game. You know how this works.
Yeah.
And so you don't get the nod your first year. But your second year, we think it's the go time. And this time, senior year, it's time to grind. It's time to shine. You've been putting in the work. I was seeing the pictures. It looked like you was just in a groove, and you had a situation. I'll speak for you on this one. You had a situation where you go in and it's looking great. You're QB1, and then it's kind of taken from you. Not taken, but the opportunity is not presented like it was said it was presented, which for people who don't know, if any young athletes are watching this, that happens. That happens a lot in college football. I had a situation where I went to San Diego State University. I was registered in my freshman year at QB, and the information that I was lended to getting there was not the information that would stand throughout the season. So it's one of them things. College football, politics and politics and sponsors.
Yeah.
But to, like I said, let's keep it on a positive note. Middle of the season, right? We're gonna skip the beginning. Middle of the season, QB1 goes down. QB2 goes down. Mr. Henderson, you get an opportunity to start for Boise State. And I think you did some phenomenal numbers because if my numbers are correct and ESPN does not lie, man, you go in and you get 1,080 yards passing in a span of 6 games. Am I correct?
4 games.
4 games. 1,080 yards passing in 4 games. 12 touchdowns. Only 2 interceptions. Let me remind everybody, this is only 4-game span. Leads Boise State to a conference title. Wins the offensive MVP. Does the iconic Kobe Bryant trophy case picture in the locker with the trophy. I think is great, dope picture. And we thinking, oh, he about to march into this bowl game. But before we even talk about the bowl game, man, how did it feel, those 4 games, man? I know them 4 games had to seem like a dream, like a Disney Channel movie, bro. Like a dream come true. Like
it was definitely the best time of my life. I will never forget that. The best, happiest, everything that you can imagine. It was the absolute best of my life. I will never, ever, ever, ever forget those 4 weeks in my entire life. Best absolute ever.
For that months, man, you were just happy. Like, because
it was great. I loved it. I think about it all the time.
You was in your bag. I remember watching some of the games on ESPN because I think Boise was one of those teams that kind of came on a little late, depending on.
We always played late.
Yeah, so y'all came on pretty late over here. So, but I remember watching them games. Like, oh, he's in his pocket. I'd hit you after the game and be like, good job. We'll do the IG story post, whatever. We talked a little bit, but it just seemed like that time period, bro, was like a movie to you. It just seemed like everything was just, it couldn't have played out any better. And from what I looked at was like, here's a guy that has a true college football story and a true college football experience. Goes into his first school, thinks he's going to be the guy, and not by his control. It doesn't happen like that.
I call it a series of unfortunate events.
Yes. A story of what I call trials and tribulations.
Yep.
And you came out on top. You go, because you end up at a better program in a sense when it comes to just like football and facilities and fans, just everything like that. You go to one of the top D1s, like I say, in the whole nation, and you shine. You get those 4 games. And now, how did you feel like going into the bowl game? Did you know what was going to happen in the bowl game, or you were still on the high of the hiatus of like, oh, this is my, things were still rolling?
Good question right there. I felt like, I was still obviously, if you just win the MVP of a championship and you win the championship, 9 times out of 10, you're going to be the starter in the bowl game, unless, seniors forego their bowl game, whatever. And so going into the bowl game, I figured, I didn't really question or think about it or anything like that until, coach told me that they're going to go with another guy and not start me because for whatever reason it was. And I was just like, me, I just want to win. And so I was just like, okay, that's fine. As long as we win. As long as we win, I'm cool with it. Whatever. Like, I've already done pretty much what I need to do. And we get in there. We get waxed in the bowl game. I finally go in, 3rd quarter, first touchdown. On my first drive that I go on, we go down and score. And then that was pretty much it. And it was just like kind of sucky to end my college career like that. But at least can walk out on a high note knowing that, I've won a championship. I have a championship ring, I have an MVP trophy. Got to take it, take it with a grain of salt, and
Mm-hmm.
go on about my life, about my business.
Man, but I'll just say that you did your thing. If I had never told you before, you did everything that you needed to do in that game. And I'm talking about your whole situation. Like when I say the game, I'm not just talking about the one game. I'm talking about your whole collegiate thing. Because it's a game, bro. And you played the game and you shined when you needed to shine. You did what you needed to do. It had nothing, your whole situation had nothing to do with you. Now, it's kind of funny. We've been talking about your journey this whole time. And on Talented Ones, everyone knows that I ask this question to everyone that comes on Talented Ones. So I got to ask you, man, we talked about your whole journey. We talked about it from the Pee-wee, we talked about it from Lindsay Lyons football field all the way to the Boise State Blue Turf, man. So I really got to ask you, which one, man, do you think impacted you the most during your football career? Was it always having a destination of striving to get somewhere, or was it like the journey that you did? Was it the journey? Whether it was like you appreciate the little league, the middle school, the high school, everything that happened. Which one motivated you more during your collegiate career?
Um, so are you asking, is it between little league and like grade school ball, or is it between like college and throughout my whole journey?
It's really throughout your whole journey. So it's kind of like, which one do you prefer? Was it like, did you prefer your destination that you were trying to get to, or did you prefer
Okay.
your journey that you took?
Good question. Also, my journey, I feel like my entire collegiate journey is why I am who I am today. From UTSA to Trinity Valley to Boise State, I wouldn't change a single bit of it, how it happened, because it's why I am the person that I am today and why I'm going to be able to accomplish things further down in the future and in the present. I'm going to be able to handle those situations when they come up again in a different scenario. I'm going to be able to handle them better. And so I'm glad that happened. It made me stronger, very mentally tough. It made my skin very, very, very thick. And so that's what I would say is my collegiate journey really, really molded me to the person I am today.
And man, that's a great answer, man. Definitely. So your collegiate journey. So I rock with that answer too. And then, the I think I would say this. Everything is in life in a weird way is a temporary feeling. I know that's kind of deep, but but you got to take from every experience and to really just latch on to that and use it for your next experience.
Yeah.
So now, the football the football is wrapped up right now. I know that you're in the financial game right now too. It's financial literacy game. We're gonna talk after this. We're gonna talk that money, man. We're gonna talk,
Yeah.
we're gonna talk, yeah, we're gonna talk the little money gang after this. But you take everything from what you've learned, because you took the connections out of Boise, man. You still up there.
Yep.
And loving it.
Yeah. This is what I'm doing right now is, wasn't my plan A, but it's always been my plan B. And so it's still a love and a passion for it. And so I'm glad I've been able to do that. Man. And that's all because of connections and who I've made myself to be out here. It's been going wonderful.
That's dope, man. That's dope, man. But again, I just want to let everybody know that this man right here, check out his highlights. If y'all never checked out the highlights to know what I'm talking about. I know to a lot of young athletes, if they're tuning into this, they're going to catch a lot of gems from this because, this is truly just honest talking about, what goes on, what happens, experiences and everything like that. You had your collegiate experiences and you came out on top. You had to, so I can't really say nothing to that, man. What's for you, you'll get it, man. And you got what you need. You got that MVP. You got that conference ring. You bought out. You showcase what you need to showcase. And, bro, to anything, man. You definitely what we call up here TO verified. You're definitely a talented one, man. And I just want people to know if they haven't tapped in, bro, let people know your social media so they can tap in on you. If they have any questions for you, anything, you know.
Yeah. My Twitter handle is at that boy Jaylon, Jaylon. And then my Instagram is Jaylon_9_. That's the number 9. My name, Jaylon _9_. Get at me. I'll respond to anybody's DMs, text, whatever. Love to talk to some of the younger guys and give them some guidance through their careers and help them out. Jay Shep, I want to appreciate you. I want to say thank you to you for allowing me to come on the show and express my story. We go way back, day one. That's my blood right there, and see you doing big things, and it excites me. It's exciting to see the people around me that I grew up with really excelling and succeeding in the world, and I'm proud of you. So thank you as well.
Appreciate that. I'm proud of you, bro. I ain't gonna hold you, but it's gonna be funny. I'm sending this all the Jack and Jill moms. I'm sending this
to all the Jack and Jill moms.
All the Jack and Jill moms. We're sending this everywhere, bro. A lot of people are gonna be like, dang, bro, they really out here doing some positive stuff. And
yeah, go ahead, send it to Jack and Jill moms.
But nah, bro, I appreciate that, man. For you too, man. I was proud, bro. Like, this has never been an envious thing between us, man. Out there for just another gym, bro. For y'all people that y'all close to you, that y'all consider y'all brothers, ladies, if y'all listening to this, who y'all consider y'all sisters, man, be happy for them when they succeed. Don't be that hater for it. Don't be somebody that prays on somebody's downfall, bro. I've always been happy for this man and whatever he's doing for himself, and he's always been happy for me, whatever I got going for myself, man. So make sure you uplift your people, man. That's that real locked in stuff. A lot of people, y'all say y'all are 4L locked in with each other. I see a lot of fraudulent stuff, but we not gonna get on that. Y'all need to go ahead and follow me right now at King_J Shep on IG and Twitter, and on my business pages at talented_ones on Twitter and at _talented_ones_ on IG, man. I appreciate you coming for the show, man. This is all love over here, bro. I'm gonna talk to you pretty soon. We're gonna talk about this money, this financial game. I'm gonna tap into you, man. I appreciate you for tapping into the show. You gave the fans some gems, man. So from you out there, all the way out there in Boise, Idaho, from myself right here in the home of Houston, Texas, man, I just want to let everybody know this is a dope talk, man. I'm glad I got this experience to put my brother's story out here and just keep progressing, bro.
Thanks, bro. Thanks. I truly appreciate it.
No problem, man. And we out, man. Hey, make sure, before I get off, make sure y'all subscribe to Talented Ones. Yeah, make sure y'all subscribe on YouTube. Make sure y'all follow these handles, bro. We got a lot coming. Peace. Love. TO Nation.